2017 district enrollment, and I'll turn it over to Superintendent Pontrelli.
Thank you. Each fall, we compile information on our student count and we share the details with the school and community. Enrollment information is helpful in projecting future budget and staffing for programming. Enrollment is a moving target, and as our students move in and out of our district during the school year, but our student count remains the same. Our budgeting is based on our October 1st student counts. Tonight we're going to provide a summary chart to share the most important details with you. In addition to that, the board has been given another packet with supplementary materials to help you understand how we got to the summary data. Our total available student population has declined slightly. The high school classes that we are graduating are larger than our incoming classes. Our largest change, a loss of 150 students, is in where the students are choosing to attend charter schools. Overall, our retention of Stillwater students attending Stillwater has decreased by about 0.9%. This isn't a surprise to us and was part of our planning with our students who chose to attend River Grove Charter. We have fewer students attending private schools than we have in previous years when you look at the numbers. Net students out to net students in has increased by 113 students. We have not lost as many students to other non-public schools as in years past. Homeschool and other public school loss has remained relatively constant for the district. Our total enrollment this year is similar to our enrollment in the 2015-2016 school year.
So I have
Director Stiblen.
question. Yeah. So I'm just trying to make sure I understand the numbers on this document. We have the total available students in the district, and this goes back to 2004, has really kind of, it looks to me like stayed about the same. It was, in 2004, it was a little over 11,000, and right now we're at a little over 11,000. So in terms of the idea that we're declining in population, I mean, whether you talk about south or north or whatever, I mean, this is looking at the whole district. We really haven't been declining.
Those are the students who, when we say available, those are all students. So it's students who are in charter schools.
That's total number of students living in the district, right?
Right.
Okay.
So that has changed. The number who have been attending charter schools, for instance, St. Croix Prep, River Grove, those are all included in that. So that would be true.
Okay. So, but then when I look at like for Stillwater enrollment, so the population of students that could come to our schools that live within the district has stayed about the same. But when you look at enrollment from 2004 until now, that enrollment number in 2004 was just over 9,000. And now it's down to 8,220 with a big 131 total students drop from last year. We lost the total population for K-12 last year was 8,351, and this year it says it's 8,220, so that's 131 students. Is that correct?
That's correct. So one of the things when you look at the graph going over, you can pretty much see where St. Croix Prep opened up, and we know that we have about 1,200 students there, and then about 130 or some, if I remember correctly, for River Grove.
Right, so we have a little bit further down in that it says percent attending charter. In 2004, it was only 3%. And in 2014, 10 years later, it was just over 10%. Now we're up at 12.4%. And with a big jump of about 1.4% just from last year. And that's the new school, the new Grove School. Correct. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. So, I'm looking at, so then because of those numbers, then we have percent of children in the district who actually choose our public schools. In 2004, it was nearly 80%. In 2005, it was 81.2%. And now we're at 71%. So that seems like a pretty big drop. over those 10 years, 10, 12 years. People choosing other things other than the public schools. Mostly, it's the charter schools. Is that would you agree with that? Is that true?
Yeah, and besides that, we also have a larger population of homeschool students than many districts, so I think it's a combination of two. And I think that's part of the conversations that the board has had in the past, is it's been consistently dropping. One of the reasons when we talked to parents, when I first came actually, was why was that? And we heard a lot from parents, whether it was private or homeschool or charter school, that kids weren't receiving the services that they need: extra math support, reading support, and social emotional support.
Well, according to this, the percent attending homeschool has stayed about the same at 2.7%. Right? I mean, it hasn't changed.
It's about 800 students, if I remember correctly.
Okay. But
So-
pretty small number. It looks like the percent attending other public schools has also grown, actually, from 2% to now it's over 5%.
Yeah, I think those are all trends that we've had conversations about. Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So my concern about this is that we've invested an enormous amount of money in making improvements to our physical space and to our teaching and learning. And I would think that that would have the effect of encouraging people to choose to come back to the public schools. And yet, you know, we have 11,000 students that could potentially be going here. We have growth in the South that could be really actually quite explosive. I mean, are we ready for change that could happen really fast? It seems like we're pretty full in a lot of our buildings, and I feel like we should be talking about what the next 5 to 10 years are going to look like.
We should.
It makes me a little bit worried.
We have, you'll actually see tomorrow during your board development session, we have 2 suggestions for the board, one about looking at demographics enrollment and another at facilities.
Okay,
So,
that's great. That's good to hear.